Greetings, this is Pelanata Katie Nicole Afok, MPA 594. This presentation is applying theories to practice. So the issue we're discussing today is that the street sweeping is ineffective in the city of Rialto. There are too many obstacles in the way for the street sweeper to effectively sweep the street, leaving the street dirty and full of debris. So what do we need to do in order to change the street sweeping effectiveness in the city of Rialto? First, we got to identify the problem, do a drive around inventory, analyze those results, explore viable solutions, inform citizens and ways to enforce a better street sweeping program. And before we can implement anything, we need to go through an approval process. Management needs to approve the program and implementation as well as the budgetary impact of that new program. And then lastly, the city council, who is the ultimate authority in the city of Rialto, will need to approve the program as well as the budget in order to enforce that program. So we need to identify the street sweeping problem in Rialto. We do a drive around inventory, document for a couple of months the frequencies of the numbers of cars that are being driven around by the street sweeper, what location, documenting all of these. We need to analyze all that data that comes in. Sometimes we could use GIS to provide a heat map of the locations and exactly where the problems are, so we can understand the complexity of the issue. Is it citywide, a systemic issue, or is it just in specific neighborhoods? And what type of residents are in that neighborhood? Is it retail, commercial, or is it residential, or is it multi-complex? It's like apartments. Some theories that comes to mind is Frederick Taylor's scientific management. The idea of motion and time study to evaluate how many times a truck can go around the obstacles and what is the best way to do the job. Obviously, here is as the many obstacles, the less efficient the job is, and the less cars are on the road, the more efficient the street sweeper can be. Another theories that comes to mind is Henry Foyer's 14 Principle of Management. There's a division of labor that we need to look at with who's doing the study, the people in the field, documenting the go-arounds on the truck, and the management that issues the orders to get this done. Another principle of management from Foyer's 14 principle of management is the chain of command. There's a strict chain of command that everybody knows what they do in the organization. So exploring viable options and solutions to this issue, we need to do a better job of informing residents of the street sweeping program so that their behavior can change. We can use media outlets to do those. We can go through Facebook, send them flyers in the mail. We could put a blurb on Rialto Network, a television program, to advertise it to the media. We can do an app that lets people know when the street sweeping truck will be coming around their neighborhood so they can move their cars the night before. That's an app that can send a text to their phones. If that doesn't work, then we need to be heavy-handed in enforcing street sweeping program by ticketing, putting a value to the action or inaction of the residents to move their vehicles. In order to start a ticketing program, we need to put signage up to enforce and let the public know what particular time the street sweeping will be happening in their streets so that we can properly enforce. Uh, the theories that come to mind is Mary Parker Fourier with informing and outreaching to the citizens. Mary Fourier believed in a holistic nature of community and a reciprocal relationship of understanding between individuals in their relationship to others. And she theorized that there is greater reaction to the power with and involving people in creating solutions and enforcing laws rather than a heavy-handed power on forcing people. However, there's also another theorist that comes to mind is Alton Mayo with the Hawthorne effect. Here in this experiment with the Hawthorne effect, there was actually there's an improved aspect on the people's behavior in response to their awareness of being observed, meaning that when people see the law enforcement coming to give them ticket, their awareness of getting a ticket promotes them to action. And so there's change in people that happens when they see that we will be enforcing and providing a penalty in this. So we want to implement our street sweeping program that we've come up with, and we need to get through the approval process. Management will hear and review a report from staff about the street sweeping program and the budget impact. When they approve it, it goes to the political arm of public administration in order to effect any policy changes. Here in Rialto, we go to the Utility Commission to get their recommendations. Once that commission has approved, staff will then go with management to in front of City Council, provide the report and budget impact to the City Council, provide them with the recommendation from the Utility Commission, and City Council will then approve, amend, or deny the request by staff to implement policies regarding the street sweeping program. So some of the theorists that come to mind in this approval process are Wilson and Goodell's politics administration dichotomy, the separation between policymakers, the politicians, and implementers of those policies in management. Max Weber's bureaucracy is evident with specialization and the hierarchy of authority, the systems of rules, in the structure that we present our program to management and city council. Henry Fourier's 14 principles of management are also evident in the programs that are implemented in a systematic way. Gulick's lost core ideas of planning, organizing, staffing, directing, coordinating, reporting, and budget are all evident in the process that we've gone through. Also, Justice Bernard's channels of communication is evident in the way the city has to effect changes by going through different social medias and different channels of approval before we can implement this program. And lastly, I want to talk about The Science of Muddling Through by Charles Lindenboom. This is the incrementalism. It's a policy of changing. Changing policy doesn't happen overnight. Changing policy is an evolution. It evolves over time. Street sweeping was just sweeping the streets. Then we recognized it was ineffective. Now we're trying to come up with new ways, new policies added on that will maybe force people to move their vehicles. So solving cleanliness in the city of Rialto is evolving over time through the theory of incrementalism. So quickly wrapping up, concluding with our application of theories to practice, uh, street sweeping in Rialto is ineffective. We try to solve the problem, identify the problem, explore solutions, and get approval to implement a program. Taylor's scientific management is evident in identifying the problem. Fayol's principles of management are equally useful. Boyer's power with and rather than power over is valued here in trying to work with people. Mayo's Hawthorne effect, observing when you observe people, it produces a reaction. Their reaction change or their actions change. In the approval to implement the program, we see a lot of theories being used here. Wilson and Goodenogh's politics and administration dichotomy, Weber's bureaucracy is evident in the specializations, Fayol's principles of management, Gulick's boss core principles of management, Bernard's channels of communications, and finally, Lindblom's incrementalist theory of policies evolving over time. I hope you enjoyed this presentation, and I'm looking forward to seeing your comments. Thank you.